I'm Ben from Victory. So I guess the best way to start is to explain the benefits that both of these sprayers have over any other sprayer. Because they're electrostatic sprayers, that's a huge benefit because the electrostatic charge allows for any spray to kind of cling onto a surface. Our sprayers double charge the solution that goes through the tanks. So when they spray, it wraps and it sticks to any surface. By using our sprayers, it saves you time, money, and it provides better coverage than other sprayers. The time factor, obviously, spraying with an electrostatic sprayer such as ours, it takes less time to cover bigger surfaces. Okay, that kind of ties into the better coverage compared to the others. Saves you money because you're not going to be using as much solution to disinfect surfaces. The handheld right here, one of the features that it has, which is kind of a benefitless feature besides demoing the product itself, is the on and off switch for the electrostatic. So this, honestly, it's best for demos just because when you turn it off, you can spray and show that it's just a regular sprayer. But when you turn on the electrostatic charge, you can spray it and you can physically see the difference that it makes by electrostatically charging the solution in the tank. The backpack used to have an on-off button, but we removed it because it was kind of obviously a benefitless feature. People need a solution for disinfection, and our products are what we like to think are the best thing that anybody can possibly have in order to disinfect efficiently. Obviously, they are fairly expensive, so you want to treat them as best you can if you're using them. That it kind of falls into the maintenance category. For maintaining these, anytime somebody uses this and has a chemical solution inside of it, at the end of the day, they want to flush the system completely. Each sprayer has a three different settings on the nozzles. So there's the smallest one, which is a 40 micron setting, and that usually requires a 5-minute dwell time for the solution to dry after being sprayed. The 80 micron setting usually requires about a 10-minute dwell time, and then the final one, the 110 setting, requires a 15-minute dwell time to dry. I'd say since this is kind of a small closed-in area, you'd either want the 40 or 80 setting. But if you're in like a big manufacturing plant or something, a wide open space that needs a lot of coverage, the 110 is your best bet. Correct. So each sprayer comes with a key that you're supposed to use. I mean, technically you can use your fingers to twist it, but that comes the potential risk to get shocked if you're spraying. So your best bet is to use the key, stick it into the nozzle, and then twist it until you hear a click. Then you'll hear that the setting has changed. So at the end of the day, if you're spraying a solution through it, a lot of disinfectants are pretty corrosive, obviously, so you're going to want to, at the end of the day, take it out, run water through it first, I recommend. So taking the tank off, you just twist this knob right here to unlock it, then you pull the circle out, and then it should just slide right off. And then if there's still chemical solution in here, obviously you want to either put it back in the chemical container, or I guess each chemical is kind of different, so you want to read the label of the chemical you're spraying in order to see how to store it properly. I would never leave chemicals in it overnight just because I know how corrosive most chemicals are. They can eat away at material like this if it's sitting there for a long duration. Yeah. I would pour the chemical out of this and pour water into it, put it back on, lock it in, and then continue to spray water through it, through each nozzle for at least a minute per nozzle, I'd say, each setting that it's on. I would spray water through it. If it does end up getting backed up, which happens quite frequently depending on the chemical you're using, it's best to take the nozzle itself out completely and soak it in either warm soapy water, or something like CLR for about 5 minutes. Usually that should be enough, 5 to 10 minutes to clear it up. And that goes the same for the backpack sprayer. They each have the exact same nozzle. Any chemical that's water-based, that can be mixed with water and that can be airborne is okay to be put through our sprayers. The tank has these tabs at the top that kind of act as a way to lock it in. It's important to be careful when you're putting the tank on the handheld, especially because of the tabs. People end up putting it into the right into here first, and then the tabs end up snapping off because they're trying to put it in and then pry it into the handle. Say the best way, if it's full of solution, would be to set it down on the table, line the hose up, pull the ring out, and then just slide it up. Then you can just lock it in, and it'll be ready to go. Depending on the setting, we like to say we've tested it out, and the average number we get coverage per tank, if it's on the small setting, which is the 40 micron setting, you get about 2,800 square feet. If it's on the 80 micron setting, you get about 2,550 square feet. And then the 120 set or the 110 setting, you'd get about 1,700 square feet, and that's mainly coverage per tank. So the battery right here, it's a lithium-ion battery. You just click it down and slide it right out. Putting it back in is as simple as just sliding it in, waiting for it to click. So the charger is like this. It'll show the charge setting that the battery already has when you plug it in. Yeah. So the battery slides in just like it does on the handheld or the backpack. Right here, just slide it on. You'll hear it click. It'll light up as soon as it starts charging. When it's fully charged, this left side will be fully illuminated. It usually takes, I'd say, about an hour, depending on how drained it is. I mean, they're supposed to come in the box 80% charged, so you're ready to use it. But I mean, it lasts 4 hours of runtime. It'll spray fully for those 4 hours until it dies completely, and then it'll be done working. Because it's lithium ion, you don't have to drain it all the way, you don't have to charge it all the way. I mean, obviously you'd want to charge it all the way to get the best runtime out of it, but yeah, you don't need to drain it completely, it has no memory. The backpack, the battery's a little different just because, I mean, it's the same exact battery, but it's in a different part of the unit. So the little back door on this, you unscrew, and then here's the battery.
And you can unclip it just like this.
Yep, so it's got that tab on it too. The on and off switch on the backpack is located on the left side. We put this casing around it because people were bumping and ending up turning it off accidentally. But same goes for this battery. You just press down on the tab and slide it out. Put it on the charger once it's fully charged. Slide it in. You'll hear the click. And then once you turn it on, this light will illuminate, indicating how much charge you have. Taking the tank off of the backpack is pretty easy. I mean, there's this black tab on the top that you just kind of flip up and then peel back. And the backpack will just, or the tank will just kind of pry out just like that. This is where the water goes directly through. The top part you just take off, fill with your solution, let the solution mix, and then it's as simple as just setting it back on, sliding it back, and then pulling this black tab, hooking it to the top. Ideally, when the tank's full though, it'll probably leak a little bit on the side if the hose isn't connected. So I would recommend connecting the hose beforehand, then putting the tank on. The hose itself is fairly easy to put on. The black tab will just slide right in, and you'll hear a little bit of a louder click. Then you know it's sealed on, and then the gray electric connector will snap on as well. Not as loud, but should connect fairly easily. And then the handle is the same exact connector. You hear the click, and then the metal part will also latch on, just like that. The handle has the safety to lock it, so when you're not spraying, obviously you don't want to accidentally pull the trigger. It's as easy as pushing it back and forth. Locking it, you push it to the left. Unlocking it, you push it to the right, and it's ready to spray. Yeah, the color coding on the nozzle makes it a little easier to tell which setting it's on. The white setting is the 110 micron setting, the biggest one. The green one is the 80 micron setting, and the red is the 40 micron setting. The backpack also has a little harness on the right side to strap the handheld part in. Obviously, you'd want to point it away from your face. That makes it a little easier to carry around. We also recently added the waist strap to make it a little easier to carry. Adding the waist strap has helped a lot, I'm sure. So, yeah. So strapping it up and ready to spray. Simple as taking it out and spraying away. Same exact thing. I would flush water through it for 5 to 10 minutes. Each nozzle, twisting it and making sure you're flushing it with water. When it comes to taking the nozzle out, same thing. I can get this one out. There we go.
There you go.
Perfect. And then the extension wand just turns in just like the nozzle. And then you would put the nozzle right into the extension wand. Yeah. So that push in to the right. It's in place. So yeah. The tank on this is 2.25 gallons. Taking the wand off is pretty easy. You just twist it to the right and it'll pop right off. And then undoing this, obviously, pulling right here and popping that off. Obviously, you'd want to flush water through this completely as well. Probably take the nozzle out after each use as well. After running water through it, I like to prop these up just to dry out a little bit. The hose is something that once you do run water through it, it would be beneficial to take it off and kind of hang it up. I have like a little bike hook in my garage that I hook it on, and it sits here, drains completely after using. And then same with the tank, I'd run water through it, flush it pretty clean, and then prop it upside down just to drain. Obviously, at the end of the day, with the handheld, there still is chemical solution. After using it, you'd want to take the tank off, and it comes with a cap that you'd want to seal the tank with and put it in the bag with the handheld. Yeah, it comes with the extra hose in case this goes out. On the inside, there's this little green rubber piece that can get worn down as time goes on, as you continue to use it. So the extra part bag that the handheld comes with includes an extra green ring to put in there in case that gets worn out. But any area, an office such as this, where people are coming in and out of frequently, they're touching, it's not always just coronavirus that we're worried about. There's obviously influenza, the flu is common every year. That's always a big issue. And spraying those viruses with disinfectants is one of the best ways to go about it. Obviously, there's a procedure that you want to follow in order to clean a surface beforehand and then spray it to disinfect it. Since you want to wear the proper PPE, depending on the chemical solution you're using. Anytime I spray, no matter what chemical it is, I'm always wearing gloves and a mask just to be safe. Eye protection most times as well, but obviously you don't want any of these disinfected chemicals getting into your body by any means. So, but anytime I'm spraying as well, I'm not spraying and walking forward. I'm usually going to the furthest point in the room, spraying top down and moving my way out because I don't want to walk into that.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Very informative. I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you, Ben.
And like I said, these cell sheets are also on the Victory Sprayer app. These are probably the best way of looking at the benefits and specifications that each sprayer has. And there's also an abundance of videos on our website and on the app that you guys can watch. I'm sure if you guys have seen the videos, there's a good demo that you can use with like the metal piping where you can turn it and then put it on a surface and spray with the handheld, and you can physically see the wrapping effect that the spray has.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay,
any other questions?
really good.
Yeah, thank you.